Many people believe their children will be their security in old age. I believed that too, and I was wrong. I grew up thinking that after giving everything for them, it was only logical that they would accompany me in my final years. I spent decades working, saving, cooking, educating, watching over their well-being. I thought that gave me the guarantee that, when the time came, they would be there for me in the same way I had been there for them. But life taught me that reality is more complex. This is not about blaming our children. They have their own lives, their own problems, their own emotional and financial burdens. Some live far away, others have jobs that leave them almost no time, and some simply do not know how to take care of an elderly father or mother. Loving your children does not guarantee that they can, or even that they want to, take care of you. And when you understand that too late, it hurts. For a long time, I expected them to solve everything for me. Medical appointments, home repairs, financial decisions. I trusted so much that they would be there that I neglected my own preparation for old age. And one day, I found myself alone, facing decisions I could no longer postpone, without the energy I had when I was younger. Today I want to share something with you that I wish I had heard 20 years ago. Not to fill you with fear, but to open your eyes. There are 7 pillars that can give you security, freedom, and peace in your old age, even if your children cannot take care of you. These 7 pillars help you maintain your independence, your dignity, and your joy of living. It does not matter if you are 60, 70, or 80 years old. It is never too late to start building a life where you do not depend on anyone else to be happy. If you apply these pillars, you will have more peace of mind in your later years, less resentment, and more energy to enjoy the time you have left. Stay with me, because what we are going to talk about can change the way you see the future. Before we continue, I would love to get to know you a little better. How old are you, and from where are you watching this video? Leave it in the comments. It excites me to know from which part of the world you are listening to us. First, pillar: financial security. The first pillar for having a safe and happy old age is financial security. And I want to be clear, this is not about being rich, but about having control over your own resources. The worst thing you can do is depend completely on your children's money or expect them to support you when you no longer work. It is not because they do not love you, but because their lives are full of commitments that do not always allow them to help you in the way you expect. I remember a good friend, Mr. Ernest, who at 70 years old decided to put all his savings into a joint account with his eldest son. He did it because he trusted him completely and because he thought it would be easier to manage the money. But his son's life became complicated. He lost his job, had debts, and started using the money in the account to get by. When Mr. Ernest wanted to pay for surgery, he discovered that there was almost nothing left. There was no bad intention, there was need, but the result was the same. He was left without resources. That is why it is essential to keep control of your money. Do not hand over properties, accounts, or pensions without a very clear reason and without legal guarantees. Keep separate accounts that only you can manage. If you do not feel confident with technology, ask for help to learn how to use online banking, but always keep your passwords and documents to yourself. If you are still of working age, set aside a portion of your income for the future. If you no longer work, make a plan so that what you have will be enough. Review your expenses, eliminate what is not necessary, and prioritize your health, food, and housing. Do not be afraid to talk with a financial advisor who can explain simple options such as low-risk investment funds or savings products that protect your money from inflation. Another key is diversification. Do not put everything in the hands of one single person or in a single account. Having a small cash reserve for emergencies can save you from trouble. And even if it sounds harsh, avoid lending large amounts of money, even to family. It is not about being selfish, it is about protecting what will allow you to live with dignity. Financial security also means learning to say no. Sometimes children or grandchildren ask for financial help for projects, debts, or major purchases. Helping is fine, but only if it does not compromise your future. Remember that no one but you will live your old age, and if you do not have money for your medicine or your care, you will be the one to suffer the consequences. This pillar is the foundation of all the others. When you have your money under control, you have the freedom to decide where to live, what to eat, which doctor to see, and what to do with your time. And that freedom is what gives you peace. Never surrender your economic autonomy completely, because getting it back later can be impossible. Second pillar, preventive health. The second pillar for a safe and happy old age is preventive health. And although it sounds obvious, many people ignore it until it is too late. Prevention is cheaper, less painful, and above all, it gives you more years of quality life. Treating an advanced illness can cost a fortune, but avoiding it usually requires only simple daily habits and consistency. Think of your body as a house you have lived in for decades. If you never check the roof, one day the leak will be so big that repairing it will cost much more. The same thing happens with your health. If you do not get regular checkups, if you ignore small signs, the problem can grow silently until it becomes something serious. Prevention starts with simple daily routines. Walking every day is one of the most powerful medicines that exists. You do not need to run marathons. 20 or 30 minutes of steady walking are enough to improve circulation, strengthen your heart, and keep your joints active. If you can, add light strength exercises 2 or 3 times a week. Climb stairs, do squats while holding onto a chair, lift water bottles as weights. These movements maintain muscle mass and prevent falls, which are one of the main causes of hospitalization among older adults. Food is also part of prevention. Eating fruits, vegetables, quality protein, and drinking enough water is much more effective than any medicine taken too late. Reduce your intake of sugar and ultra-processed foods because they inflame the body and accelerate aging. Another key point is not skipping medical checkups. Get blood work done, check your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar, and have your vision and hearing checked at least once a year. Detecting a problem in its early stages can change everything. I know the case of Mrs. Claire, a neighbor who always went to her checkups. Thanks to a routine blood test, she discovered a tumor in its initial stage that could be operated on without complications. Today, at 78 years old, she is healthy and grateful that she acted in time. Preventive health also includes taking care of your mind. Sleeping well, maintaining social relationships, and learning new things help keep your brain young. Even activities as simple as reading, doing crossword puzzles, or learning a new recipe can delay cognitive decline. Investing in prevention is investing in freedom. When you are healthy, you decide for yourself where to go, what to eat, and with whom to spend the day. When you are sick, your options shrink, and many times you depend on others. That is why every step you take today to care for your health is a step toward an old age with more dignity and less suffering. Third pillar, a social network beyond family. The third pillar for a safe and happy old age is building and maintaining a social network that goes beyond children and grandchildren. It is normal for family to be the center of life for many years, but relying only on them for your social life is a mistake that can be very costly. Children grow up, start their own families, move to other cities, and suddenly you find yourself spending entire days without seeing anyone. That is why it is so important to have friends, trusted neighbors, and people with whom you share interests. Maintaining relationships outside the family is one of the best protections against loneliness and depression in old age. Research shows that older adults who have close friends and regular contact with them live more years and enjoy better mental health. A solid social network can be as simple as a small group of neighbors you have coffee with every week, a book club at the local library, or a walking group in the park. You do not need dozens of friends. 2 or 3 people with whom you can talk, laugh, and share your worries are enough. I know the case of Martha, a 75-year-old woman who was widowed and felt completely alone. One day she decided to join a neighborhood book club. At first it was hard for her. She felt she did not fit in, but little by little she formed friendships. Today, Martha not only reads more books than ever, but she also looks forward to the weekly meeting. That routine gave her back her sense of purpose and joy. Volunteering is also very valuable. Helping at a community kitchen, teaching children to read, or visiting other older adults who have no family can give you a deep sense of usefulness. And in the process, you meet people who share your values and create bonds that strengthen your emotional life. Having a social network does not mean neglecting your family, it means complementing it. Your children cannot always listen to you or keep you company, and that should not become a reason for resentment. When you have other people to talk to and activities outside your home, family visits become moments of joy, not of dependence. Remember this phrase: those who depend only on their family are left alone when their family is not there. Building your social network is a way of taking care of yourself, protecting your mental health, and continuing to grow as a person. Friendship, community, and a sense of belonging are medicines just as important as any vitamin you can take. Fourth pillar, emotional independence. The fourth pillar for a safe and happy old age is emotional independence. This is just as important as having money or health, because if you do not know how to be well with yourself, any problem becomes bigger than it really is. Many older people carry the expectation that their children should constantly keep them company, call them every day, visit every weekend. When that does not happen, they feel abandoned, angry, and resentful. But the truth is that children have their own lives. Some work long hours, others have small children to care for, and some even live in another country. They cannot always answer every phone call or attend every family gathering. Learning to manage loneliness is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, so you do not depend emotionally on anyone. One of the most powerful tools for this is keeping a journal. It may sound simple, but putting your feelings down on paper helps you release emotions, clarify your thoughts, and see your problems from another perspective. If you feel angry because your child did not call, write down what you feel instead of keeping it inside. Many times, after writing, you realize that it was not as serious as it seemed. Another technique is mindfulness. Spend a few minutes each day sitting in silence, breathing deeply, and observing what is happening in your body and mind. You do not need complicated postures or advanced techniques. It is enough to be present and grateful for what you do have: a roof over your head, food, the opportunity to keep learning. Forgiveness is also important. Holding on to resentment toward your children, relatives, or even yourself only poisons your heart. I remember Mrs. Isabel, a 79-year-old woman who lived bitterly because she felt her children had pushed her aside. One day, she decided to start therapy and work on forgiveness. Little by little, she stopped blaming them for everything and began to enjoy little things: her garden, her neighborhood friends, her favorite novels. The peace she found changed the way she lived. Being emotionally independent does not mean you stop loving your children or isolate yourself from them. It means learning to be your own center. When you achieve this, every visit and every call becomes a gift, not an obligation. And that improves relationships because you no longer load them with impossible expectations. Fifth pillar, an adapted and independent home. The fifth pillar is having an adapted and independent home. Many older adults end up in a care facility not because they want to, but because their home becomes dangerous. Steep stairs, loose rugs, poor lighting, slippery bathrooms. All of this can cause a fall, and a fall can change your life forever. Investing in adapting your home is investing in continuing to live independently. Install grab bars in the bathroom and near the bed. Use non-slip rugs and improve lighting in hallways and stairways. If you have difficult steps, consider ramps or extra handrails. Make sure you can reach the bathroom without obstacles and that everything in the kitchen is at an accessible height. These changes may seem small, but they make a big difference. I know the case of Mr. Albert, who lived in an old house full of stairs. After a fall that almost sent him to a care home, his family helped him remodel. They removed rugs, installed handrails, and replaced the bathtub with an accessible shower. Today, at 80 years old, he still lives in his home and says he has never felt so safe. Do not forget to check the technology in your home as well. Install smoke detectors, make sure phones are within reach, and consider having an emergency alert button. Small investments can bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones. An adapted home is not only a safe place, it is also a space that inspires you to keep enjoying life. Decorate with things that make you feel good, create a reading corner, have plants, music, or photographs that bring you joy. Your home should be your refuge, not a trap full of dangers. The safer and more accessible your home is, the less you will depend on others to move around, and the longer you will be able to decide for yourself how and where you want to live. Sixth pillar, learning and an active mind. The sixth pillar is keeping your mind active and constantly learning. Many people think that studying is only for the young, but nothing could be further from the truth. The brain is like a muscle. If you do not exercise it, it weakens. When you keep learning new things, you keep your neural connections alive and help prevent cognitive decline. Learning something new does not have to be complicated or expensive. Reading books is one of the simplest ways to keep your mind awake. You can choose novels, biographies, history, science, or any topic that sparks your curiosity. Even reading the newspaper and thinking about what is happening in the world helps you exercise your critical thinking. Today we have more opportunities than ever to keep learning. There are free online courses on almost any topic, from cooking to philosophy, from art history to technology. You can also learn music, play an instrument, or sing in a choir. Learning a language at any age is possible and keeps your mind in shape, and it opens new doors for communication. I know the case of Julian, an 80-year-old man who decided to learn painting after retiring. At first, he did it as a hobby, but soon he realized that this activity gave him a reason to get up every morning. Today, he exhibits his paintings at small community events and says he has never felt so creative. Keeping your mind active not only delays brain aging, it also improves your mood. When you learn something new, you feel satisfaction, pride, and motivation. That energy shows in the way you speak, how you move, and even in your posture. Do not let your life shrink down to television and the same old routines. Every day can be an opportunity to discover something you did not know. Seventh pillar, spirituality or life purpose. The seventh pillar is spirituality or a sense of life purpose. Reaching old age without a deep sense of why you live can lead to hopelessness. Having a purpose does not necessarily mean religion, although for many people, faith is a huge source of strength. It can also be a personal philosophy, a creative project, a mission that inspires you. Purpose acts like an anchor on difficult days. When you know why you get up every morning, your problems feel lighter. You may have pain, physical limitations, or even great losses, but if you have a reason to continue, you find strength where you thought there was none. Think of Anna, a woman who fell into depression after losing her husband. She spent her days with no desire to get out of bed until she decided to start taking care of the neighborhood's community garden. That small commitment brought back her motivation. Today, she spends her mornings planting flowers, talking with neighbors, and watching that space fill with life. She says the garden saved her. Finding purpose can be as simple as taking care of your plants, writing your memoirs for your grandchildren, helping in a soup kitchen, or keeping someone company who needs it. It can also mean dedicating time to your faith, meditating, or reflecting on what really matters. Purpose protects you from despair because it reminds you that your life still has value. No matter your age, there is always something you can give, something you can learn, something you can create. And that sense of contribution is what keeps old age from becoming just a waiting period and turns it into a stage of fulfillment. Breaking myths about children. Before we go on, it is important to clarify something. This message is not a call to distrust your children out of resentment or to break ties with them. It is about being realistic. Loving your children does not mean they are obligated to solve every aspect of your life. Understanding this is liberating because it allows you to take responsibility for yourself without expecting the impossible. Today's society is not the same as it was 50 years ago. In the past, several generations lived under the same roof, and it was natural for children to care for their parents. Now, many children live in other cities, even in other countries. They have long work hours, responsibilities with their own families, and sometimes financial difficulties that prevent them from helping as they would like to. I know the story of Teresa, a woman who spent years waiting for her daughter to take her to live with her. Teresa sold her house thinking that would speed up the move. But her daughter went through relationship problems, then lost her job, and the plan never came together. For a while, Teresa felt betrayed, but later she understood that her daughter had not abandoned her. She was simply overwhelmed. With a friend's help, she found a small apartment to rent and signed up for a painting workshop. Today, she says it was the best thing that could have happened to her because she discovered she could move forward on her own. Breaking the myth that my children must take care of me does not mean you stop loving them. It means loving them in a healthier way, one that does not place expectations on them that may create resentment on both sides. This gives you power. Instead of sitting around waiting for help, you start building the life you want. Common mistakes when depending on family. After talking about myths, it is necessary to mention the mistakes many people make by depending too much on family. The first and most serious is handing over property without guarantees. Giving away your house, savings, or assets while you are still alive without legal documents can leave you unprotected. There are stories of parents who signed everything over to their children thinking they were helping them, and later were forced to move out because they were no longer the owners of their own home. Another common mistake is trusting verbal promises. Hearing, "Do not worry, I will take care of everything," may sound reassuring, but life changes. Children can lose their jobs, get divorced, or become ill, and what seemed certain stops being so. Having clear agreements, and, if necessary, written ones, protects everyone and prevents family conflict. It is also common for older adults to neglect their health while hoping their family will motivate them or go with them to the doctor. They postpone exams or treatments because "I do not want to bother anyone," or "I will go when my child can take me." This can be dangerous. Detecting a problem late can cost much more money and cause much more suffering. I remember Mr. Philip, who needed cataract surgery, but waited more than a year for his son to find the time and money to accompany him. When he finally went to the doctor, his eyesight had deteriorated so much that the surgery was more complicated and the recovery slower. If he had acted earlier, he would have avoided months of anguish. Avoiding these mistakes means making proactive decisions, maintaining control of your assets, legally planning your future, going to the doctor when you need to, and not waiting for someone else to give you permission to take care of yourself. Being cautious is not about distrust. It is about protecting your dignity and your family's peace of mind. How to build these pillars today. Talking about pillars is inspiring, but what matters is knowing how to begin. The good news is that it is never too late to build a safer and happier old age. It does not matter if you are 60, 70, or 80 years old, there is always something you can do today. Start with the first pillar. Review your financial situation. Make a list of your income and expenses, identify where you can save, and, if possible, set aside a small amount each month for emergencies. Keep control of your accounts and keep your documents in order. For the second pillar, your health, schedule a medical checkup if it has been a long time since your last one. Walk at least 20 minutes a day, eat fruits and vegetables, and cut back on sugar. Small, consistent changes have a big impact over time. For the third pillar, your social network, look for a group or activity that motivates you, a book club, a dance class, a walking group. If you do not find one, create one yourself. Call that neighbor you never talk to and invite them for coffee. For the fourth pillar, emotional independence, spend a few minutes a day writing in a journal or meditating in silence. Notice what you are feeling, be grateful for what is good, and let go of what you cannot control. In the fifth pillar, adapt your home. Review hallways, stairs, and bathrooms. If something is dangerous, change it. Remember that every improvement is an investment in your freedom of movement. The sixth pillar requires curiosity. Choose a new subject to learn about, a language, an instrument, history, international cooking. Use free resources on the internet or at your city's library. Lastly, for the seventh pillar, look for your purpose. Ask yourself, what activity would make me feel useful? Whom can I help? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Start small, but start. Think of the example of Raymond, who at 70 years old decided to study computing so he could write his autobiography on a computer. Not only did he learn to write it, but now he teaches other older adults how to use technology. He himself says that these last 10 years have been the most active and happiest of his life. Building these pillars is not a one-day project. It is a daily decision to care for yourself, value yourself, and continue growing. We have gone through 7 pillars that can transform your old age: financial security, preventive health, a social network beyond family, emotional independence, an adapted home, ongoing education, and a purpose that inspires you. Each one is like a column that supports a more stable and fulfilling life. You may not be able to build them all at once, but starting with one already makes a difference. When you take control of your money, take care of your body, strengthen your mind, and cultivate relationships, you stop waiting for others to decide for you. Your old age can be the freest stage of your life if you are the one who builds it. This is not about living more years, but about living them with joy and dignity. Every day you invest in yourself is a gift to your future. And although your children and your family are important, your happiness should not depend completely on them. If anything we talked about today made you think, I would love to read you in the comments. Tell me how old you are and from where you are watching this video. Maybe your story will inspire someone else who needs to hear this message. And if you believe this content can help other people, share it. Subscribe so we can continue learning together how to live a fuller, safer, and happier old age.